up on News Live at 6, after years of cleanup, Onondaga Lake's transformation is changing how people see the area.
Plus, the biggest mall in New York celebrated its anniversary yesterday. We'll show you how the occasion was honored.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Once known as one of the most polluted lakes in the country, Onondaga Lake is now showing signs of recovery. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Lauren Holdmeyer.
And I'm Tyler Oldano. Our Zara Suvanto explains how the cleanup and land restoration is bringing the land back to life.
Onondaga Lake holds deep meaning for the Onondaga Nation. It's considered a sacred place in their culture and history. Last year, the nation reclaimed more than 1,000 acres of land in Tully Valley, where streams flow into the lake. I spoke with the curator of history at Onondaga Historical Association, who works closely with the Onondaga Lake Park.
It is a sacred site. It is a sacred lake to our friends and neighbors in the Onondaga Nation, of course. One of the great tragedies of the area is the externalities of the industry that built this community, which includes the wealth that helped build Syracuse University, turned that sacred lake into the most polluted lake in the United States.
For decades, waste from factories and salt mining damaged the lake's ecosystem. But years of cleanup by New York State and Honeywell have transformed the area. The water is clearer, wildlife has returned, and the smell that once defined the lake is now gone.
When you visit the lake, those of you that might be, again, kayakers, or if you ever, bicycle around and loop the lake, to be able to do that and not necessarily be hit in the face with some disgusting, noxious smell is great, right? As that plant life comes back and as the fish, multiply in terms of the species and things, all will lead to more people, enjoying that lake.
The cleanup work at Onondaga Lake is still underway, but the progress is clear. And for many, it's changing how people see this beautiful place. Back to you, Lauren and Tyler.
Well, Zara, thank you so much. Balloting to select faculty representatives for the Provost Advisory Committee starts tomorrow. The committee ensures consistency of promotion and tenure processes across campus. There are 6 vacancies open to full tenured professors. All tenured and tenure track faculty are eligible to vote for representatives from their school or college.
The Destiny USA Mall here in Syracuse has been open for 35 years. That's a long time. Our Skylar Smith has more on the celebration and what the future holds for the shopping center.
Yesterday afternoon, Destiny USA threw itself a 35th birthday party, complete with a DJ, cake, and a lot of nostalgia.
We thought for 35 we should do something big, especially giving back to the community, us being in the center of Syracuse, us being such a community hub, we are pretty much known for hosting our free events.
That's Samantha Mora Marshall, who has been with Pyramid Management Group, Destiny's parent company, for nearly 8 years. She says the celebration intended to unite everyone who have kept the mall alive through changing times.
I feel like everyone always has a memory, whether you came here when you were younger. I had a lot of people come up to me, I was here on opening day. It's a place that you build memories. It's a place that you can get together and go to your favorite store, grab a bite to eat, and we're obviously really excited for the evolution of the center and how IKEA is opening in November.
Among those who celebrated were Greg and Sarah Minnix. For them, the mall is more than a shopping center. It has become a tradition.
Definitely we spend a lot of family days here. There's so much to see and do for the kids. You can grab something to eat. You can ride on the little animal things. We definitely obviously do the carousel.
The Carousel Center opened in 1990 but was later rebranded and expanded as Destiny USA. And while rumors about the mall's future and financial stability continue to circulate, the Minnixes say that Destiny USA remains timeless.
I think without the mall, there would be an empty, huge gaping hole in the Syracuse area and in central New York.
35 years later, Destiny USA's legacy continues, and so does its place in the Syracuse community.
For CitrusTV News, I'm Skylar Smith.
Well, Tyler, definitely some good weather we've been having to head out to the mall.
I know, right? That look outside that window for that one interview was really, really pretty. Let's hope it stick around sunny. Is it going to stick around? What can you tell us?
And The weather is finally starting to match these beautiful leaves on campus, which is super exciting, getting back from fall break and feeling these fall temperatures. Right now, it's around 50 degrees outside. It is a little chilly with these wind chills, 24-mile-per-hour wind gusts currently, and tonight the wind will chill out a little bit, but we're going to see a drop down in temperature to 44 degrees. Let's take a little bit of a deeper look into tonight. Now, if you have to leave your home, tonight we're going to see at around 8 p.m. 48 degrees, 11 p.m. 42 degrees, and around 2 a.m. we're going to get into those 30s, 38 degrees. So definitely those nice fall temperatures. We're starting to see these beautiful leaves outside on campus, which is beautiful and great, and I'm really enjoying the fall. But soon, hopefully these temperatures, don't get too cold too quick, and we get to enjoy these nice fall temperatures. I'll have more on the rest of the 5-day forecast in a few. Back to you guys.
Definitely some beautiful fall scenery behind you, Sunny. Well, a downtown Syracuse pub is reopening after a month-long shutdown. Ale and Angus is serving customers again beginning at 11 a.m. tomorrow. The month-long closure was the result of 30 new apartments being built above the pub. It was forced to close when its landlord temporarily shut off utilities during renovations. Ale and Angus is already fully booked from 4 to 7 p.m. tomorrow and will be providing catering at the Dome for this weekend's game against Pitt.
For those looking for a safe community to join in Syracuse, look no further than the Singing Solutions. Our Jeremy Reed takes a look at the unique communities formed through therapeutic organizations.
During times of hardship, it can be difficult to seek refuge in others. Enter Singing Solutions, a nonprofit organization that provides a therapeutic community through the medium of song. But can music truly keep us in harmony? Singing Solutions founder Kath Fathers firmly believes it can.
We all need community, and singing is a way to connect us with ourselves and with one another. If we can create soft spaces and brave spaces for people to express themselves, then it's really worth a lot.
As a trained music therapist, Kath is well aware of the genuine benefits that singing can have on the mind, body, and soul.
We've got the vagus nerve that's stimulating the dopamine and serotonin and shutting off adrenaline. Then we've also got the oxytocin of singing in community and all that offers to us.
And in case the Jerabog Lounge is too far for your liking, don't worry, because Singing Solutions partners up with a variety of organizations all across Syracuse.
Our grief and trauma program is at a bereavement counseling center, so we partner with them. We have another program that we run in Parkinson's organization called Empower Parkinson's. So we do a lot of partnerships and moving around the place.
In times of need, it's never too late to reach out to those around you. For CitrusTV News, I'm Jeremy Reed.
Jeremy, thank you. A sixth man has been charged with racketeering in connection with a drug ring operation out of a Syracuse apartment complex. 5 other men were arrested and charged back in May. One had fled the state. That man has been charged with enterprise corruption and faces 14 charges and a 30-count indictment. The group had been accused of running a drug business out of apartment 205 in Parkside Commons.
A corrections officer has pleaded guilty in the death of an inmate at Mid-State Correctional Facility. Francis Chandler pleaded guilty to gang assault in Oneida County Court this morning. He faces 4 years in prison and 5 years of supervision after he's released. The inmate was killed on March 1st of this year. This beating came during the statewide strikes while prisons in New York were facing staff shortages. 10 other officers are also facing charges in this case.
Yeah, Tyler, and that story comes as the trial of 3 other New York State Guards continues. There is no verdict today in the trial of the 3 Marcy Correctional Facility officers over the murder of inmate Robert Brooks. The case went into jury deliberation at 4 p.m. yesterday and will continue to discuss tomorrow. Defense attorneys of these 3 guards have tried to separate their behavior from other prison staff involved. 6 of the guards tried so far have pled guilty, and 1 is set for trial in January.
Governor Kathy Hochul slams Washington Republicans for holding SNAP benefits from millions of New Yorkers. Nearly 3 million New Yorkers who rely on SNAP for food assistance could lose their access to benefits starting November 1st. Hochul says in a press release the Trump administration has indicated that it will not allow states to distribute federal funding for SNAP recipients. Hochul says, quote, lives depend on this. Release this federal funding right now and let states get this money to families to ensure they don't go hungry, unquote.
And moving downstate, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security will award $33 million to the MTA. The Southern District Court of New York announced the ruling today after Homeland Security previously tried to block the funding. These funds will be used to support counterterrorism measures. Governor Hochul says in a press release, quote, the decision is victory for every New Yorker who rides our subways, buses, and commuter rails.
The first local case of the chikungunya virus has been confirmed by New York medical officials. The mosquito-borne virus was recently diagnosed after a person on Long Island began developing symptoms in August. Officials say the illness is rarely fatal and must recover within a week. Symptoms may include fevers, joint pain, and headaches.
And coming up after the break, the Senate adjourned for the week while the government shutdown continues. We'll tell you what they voted on.
And Trump is planning to meet with Vladimir Putin next week. Find out why when we come back.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching CitrusTV News Live at 6 with Lauren Holdmeyer, Tyler Oldano, and Sunny Suaya. And now, your campus news leader continues.
I'm not comfortable with any of this being done because, as I've said, I don't like government shutdowns. Nobody wins in a government shutdown.
That was a frustrated Senate Majority Leader John Thune last night as the government shutdown entered its 16th day. The Senate failed to get enough votes to advance a Republican bill to end the shutdown for the 10th time. The final vote was 51-45, with no new Democrats choosing to vote with the Republicans.
That vote was 9 people short of the 60 votes needed to move forward, and the Senate adjourned for the week after the failure. They are set to be back in session at 3 p.m. Monday, meaning the shutdown will last through the weekend. President Trump says he is planning to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin next week to talk about the war in Ukraine. In a post to Truth Social, Trump says he and Putin agree there should be a meeting of high-level advisors. This would be the second time the two are meeting after the first round of talks back in August.
Trump and Putin will meet in Hungary to, quote, see if we can bring this inglorious war between Russia and Ukraine to an end. These comments come as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to visit the White House tomorrow. And former Trump administration National Security Advisor John Bolton has been charged with a potential mishandling of classified information. He has been charged with 18 criminal counts, including counts of both transmitting and retaining national defense information.
The investigation into Bolton became public in August when the FBI searched his home. They took documents from his office that were labeled as classified. The full court indictment says that he allegedly shared information with two unnamed sources while he was a national security advisor.
And coming up after the break, I'll have more on these cooler temperatures.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
It's definitely fall in Syracuse. We're seeing some lower temperatures, unlike before fall break when it was a little hot in the 70s and 80s, but now we're seeing all around central New York from 53 to as high as 68. So we're seeing these trends of wind gusts, lake effect, chill, and low temperatures. Now, we definitely enjoyed a nice fall break, and here's a little recap of what we did. I went back home to Miami, Florida, got to enjoy some heat before coming back to these fall temperatures. Lauren had some beautiful fall, a real true fall break, as you can see by those nice leaves. And Tyler got to go to a local convention where he got to dress up. So that was definitely a fun little break, but we're glad to be back here on campus, and I'm glad to tell you guys about the weather. Now, looking to our 5-day forecast, we're starting to see that this is going to be a trend. Tomorrow, we're going to be in the 50s. Saturday, 54 degrees, and then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're going to see some rain showers, and Monday, some rainstorms. So although Sunday we're going to see 70 degrees and it is going to be a bit hotter, we're still going to see some rain, so it's not nice enough to go outside and enjoy that. So make sure you dress right for these lower temperatures and for the rain. I'll have more of on your wake up weather in just a bit. Back to you guys.
Sunny, thank you so much. Highwater Theater Company is gearing up for their fall performance of The Weir this weekend.
Isabella Galan joined them during rehearsals at the Gear Factory to see what makes this production so special.
After a long day of work, sometimes all you want is a beer. But for nurse Jade Breyer, after working in the cardiac operating room, she finds herself serving beer.
Great character yourself.
On stage.
Getting back to work with Highwater has been just a fantastic return to theater after a decade.
Cheers, boys. She is in the Highwater Theater Company's production of The Weir, a play where 3 Irishmen share ghost stories to a newcomer from Dublin, who has her own story to share.
It's very mysterious. She's clearly starting over with her life, and they're very curious about her because Irish people are usually pretty nosy, so they want to know why this city girl has moved in.
But what makes this production so special isn't necessarily the content itself. Rather, it's the approach to creating a more comfortable environment within the cast, something that the director, Thorne Hall, refers to as consent-based theater.
We've had a lot of time to focus on our characters and also our chemistry together as actors.
Starting right with warm-ups.
We get 2 moves and we have to interact with the other person silently, so that's either like walking through them like under their arm or touching them in some way or walking around them. Doing that, you kind of learn what the other person's instincts are as well as what your own instincts are.
Allowing her to take on the role of Valerie to the fullest.
And we've gone to the point where we're finding all of these little details in the story because we all developed our characters so deeply.
Making this the best performance of the Weir there has ever been.
I've seen a couple versions of it on YouTube, but I honestly think ours is a little bit better.
Isabella Galan, Citrus TV News.
Isabella, thank you. And if you're interested in seeing the show, tickets can be found at the website link on your screen. Performances will take place tomorrow and Saturday at 8 p.m. at Studio 24. Now, what's coming up in sports?
Well, I wish someone would have told me about the play last week because he could have gone. It was Syracuse's bye week, but now the Orange return to action to take on Pittsburgh in the Dome on Saturday. We'll tell you everything you need to know.
He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Your Citrus TV Sports Report.
With the bye week behind them, Syracuse desperately hopes to bounce back from 2 lopsided losses. Welcome into sports. I'm Adam Gotkin. All anyone wants to talk about right now is quarterback Ricky Collins. Since he took over for the injured Steve Angeli, the LSU transfer has thrown just 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions in a pair of starts. The redshirt sophomore used this much-needed week off to regroup and learn.
It's been rough for us as an offense, as a team. I mean, we haven't been getting the production that we wanted, outcomes that we wanted, but that he's still confident in me, he believes in me. He's continuously pushing me and coaching me hard as I probably ever been coached in my life so far. So I really appreciate it.
So Collins is still confident, but that hasn't stopped fans from calling for the true freshman Luke Carney to take over. The dual-threat gunslinger became the first quarterback in Texas high school history to win 4 state titles as a starter. So he's got some pedigree to say the least, and he's got all the confidence that you need to be a star quarterback.
I feel confident. I feel confident with what I've been able to show in practice and the things I'm able to do as far as throwing the ball and moving around with my legs. So I feel confident. Yeah, maybe contribute any way I can, honestly. I mean, obviously, as the 2, you got to be ready no matter what. You never know what can happen. So, yeah, just be ready in all aspects to contribute any way I can.
When Syracuse takes on Pittsburgh this Saturday at 7:30, it'll see a true freshman on the other sideline in the Panthers starting quarterback Mason Henschel, but it doesn't seem like Fran Brown will make any changes for his quarterback ahead of a primetime kick.
Fran, Ricky is your starting quarterback on Saturday?
I mean, yeah, why wouldn't he be?
Okay.
He okay, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, Ricky's the starting quarterback.
what are you seeing from him that sort of gives you confidence that he's sort of the guy moving forward?
He's just our quarterback.
So with football in the heart of conference play, the hoop season is quickly approaching. And yesterday, Syracuse hosted its annual media day. Coming off the program's worst season since the 60s, Adrian Autry believes that this year's team is different.
It depends on how your 9th, 10th, and 11th man is. You know, our 9th, 10th, 11th man this year is going to be someone that could probably be our 6th, 5th, or 4th man. You know, that's the type of talent that we have on this team this year.
So when you look at all the players added, that confidence that Autry has is understandable. Just about all of the transfers come from big-time schools, and you can't talk about this team without mentioning the 4-star freshmen Kyan Anthony and Sadiq White. But in addition to all of these new players, they add to a returning core of all-ACC senior guard J.J. Starling and potential first-round pick Donnie Freeman. The expectations are high, and Coach Red is ready to meet them.
You know, I look like that every year. You know, I want to make the tournament every year. You know, I'm not here just to be, mediocre. You know, that's not why, I'm here. This place is where I grew up at.
Well, guys, it's been a couple of tough seasons for Adrian Autry as the head coach of Syracuse, but there's some optimism right now that this year's team could be the one to finally start winning some games.
Yeah, you know, I'm a bit embarrassed to admit this. I haven't been to a basketball game since I was a freshman. It hasn't been too exciting, but I'm hoping maybe this year I'll be ready to go and we'll be getting some wins, What do you think?
I don't blame you because this past senior class was the first since the 60s to not see a team make the tournament. So, they're not great right now, but who knows? A new year is a new year, so maybe they can be better this season.
Yeah, definitely. Here's hoping. Well, when we get back, we'll have one last look at your wake-up weather.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.
And tomorrow morning, we're going to see some great temperatures just in time for fall, 50 degrees, partly cloudy. So you'll get to enjoy that nice fall weather when you wake up and celebrate that it's a Friday morning.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the weekend, Sunny. And if you're wondering what some great weekend plans might be for around the area, just announced today, Hochul congratulates the Finger Lake region on being named the 2025 American Wine Region of the Year. The title comes from Wine Enthusiast Magazine's Wine Star Awards.
That's right, Lauren. The Finger Lakes is home to more than 140 wine. That's a lot of wineries. It is the largest and most established wine producing region in New York State. Guys, this is kind of big for us. We had the Big Apple Orchard.
Oh yeah.
And now we have the Big Wine. What do you guys think is going to be next for the big New York State kind of like claim to fame?
Oh, that's hard to say.
The next thing for New York State? Oh man, I don't even know. I was going to say, I was thinking maybe this is a perfect week to go to the winery because it's a night football game, so you could even make it back in time if you went during the day.
Definitely. I'm a wine lover myself. It's one of my favorite drinks. You know, I love visiting the vineyards too. I'm actually taking a wine class this semester. So I'm getting to learn the ins and outs about the winemaking process, and it's been super interesting.
You know, wineries are beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't drink yet, but I love to look at the wineries.
Yeah, you know, beautiful scenery, something for everyone. A lot of times they have delicious food too. So definitely a family-friendly event, something to check out in the area.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Well, that's all for Citrus TV News live at 6/4 this Thursday.
Don't forget you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Tyler Oldano.
And I'm Lauren Holdmeyer. Have a great evening, Syracuse.